Hello, next level friends. I am here to tell you about my breakthrough this year, but I want to set the stage first, and I want to take you back to last year for one quick second. Last year, I ran my first marathon. It was quite the accomplishment. Talk about getting clear on your mindset and all that. If you want to do that quickly, go sign up for a marathon. But anyway, I ended the fall by, crossing the finish line at the marathon, and I honestly finished last year in the best shape of my life. I had a launch coming up. I had tons of registrants coming in for the launch. My Facebook ads were working really well. I was feeling on top of the world, and I was like, 2019 is going to be my year. And then the launch tanked. I opened up the doors the week after New Year's, and everything fell apart. Nobody bought. Well, in the end, I had a few people buy, but very few people bought. My conversion rates were terrible. This was a newer offer, and I thought I had nailed it. And I know we've all been there before, but I hit meltdown mode. I almost didn't even go to BBD Live because I hit a point that I was like, this doesn't work. Everything James teaches, it's a bunch of BS. It doesn't work. I don't believe in it anymore. And I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, screw this. I'm just going to go back to one-on-one work. I'm not going to have any other products or offers. Forget it. But I still went to BBD Live despite the fact that 2 days before I was like ugly crying in the shower because I was so upset after this launch. And I will say I got some great coaching from Nikki while I was there. I met so many of you wonderful people. I mean, I listened to High Hopes like 87,000 times. And after all was said and done, I was determined to get up on that stage because I knew that my big breakthrough had to be coming. So I went home, I relaunched, I got a few more sales, I launched again, I got a few more sales. Fast forward to the end of this summer when James asked us to choose our big breakthrough moment. And I kind of thought, do I even have one? I kind of started looking back on the year like, well, I didn't really have some massive breakthrough launch. None of that ever actually happened. I didn't triple my audience size. I didn't have any moments that felt like I crossed the finish line after the marathon that I had done the year before. I had no yes, I made it moments. But that's when I realized that just like running a marathon, becoming the CEO of your business and becoming the digital CEO isn't about a finish line. It's not about a 100K launch or suddenly reaching 50,000 followers on Instagram. I suddenly realized you finish a marathon not because of the 26 miles you just ran, but because of the hundreds of times over the past 6 or 7 or 8 months that you show up to run, even when you don't want to, even when the weather is terrible, even if you had an awful run the day before. And same thing goes for your business. You become the CEO of your business not when you hit 50,000 followers on Instagram or you have the 6-figure launch. You become the true CEO when you show up again and again and again, and you keep launching and you keep putting one foot in front of the other. And when I kept showing up, I suddenly realized this year, I got super clear on my niche. I finally figured out who my audience was and who I needed to be talking to. I ended up doing 7 launches this year for 2 different offers and improved them every single time. I sold out a mastermind program that was kind of a last-minute offer that I threw in this year. I increased my list by over 1,000 people. I added 3 one-on-one amazing integrator clients to my roster. I hired multiple team members. I created a team this year. And I kind of realized after I put all of these accomplishments together that I had a breakthrough. And even though I may not have reached the revenue goals or did the 100K launch or, had that moment where I crossed an actual finish line, I became the CEO of my business this year. And I was able to get to a place where I'm only working in my zone of genius and I only do the stuff that I love every day, and I have an amazing team that supports me in doing all the other things, and everything's working and everything's growing. And in fact, when I went and looked at my stats in Kajabi, I doubled my revenue from last year without even realizing it. So I want to just say that for those of you who may ever think that you didn't have a breakthrough or you didn't have a moment because you didn't have the big giant launch and you didn't actually feel like you ever crossed a finish line, there is no finish line. The breakthrough happens when you keep showing up and when you detach from outcomes, as James and all the coaches tell us all the time, and when you just keep playing the game and putting one foot in front of the other and you just freaking do it, that's when it happens. And that was what I realized this year, that the breakthrough happens in that journey. It's not about crossing some arbitrary finish line. So that was my big breakthrough, and I can't wait to hear yours.